Hi, I need to talk to you about something that's been driving me absolutely crazy lately. If you open Instagram or YouTube right now, you will see dozens of people advising on renting or buying a house. If you have been watching those 60-second reels, you are probably feeling more confused than ever about whether buying a home is even the right move, right? You probably feel like you are about to make the biggest financial mistake of your life. So, today, let's cut through the noise and break this down with real numbers and logic. Because buying a home isn't just a decision, it's something that can shape your financial life for decades. Let's crack open the numbers and figure out the final answer. Should you rent or should you buy? Let's start with the exact math people used to convince you not to buy. Let's say you are looking at a nice house that costs exactly 1 crore. In India, residential rental yields are usually quite low, typically around 2% to 4%. That means you can rent that beautiful 1 crore house for about 3 lakhs a year, which comes down to 25,000 a month. Now, let's look at buying the exact same house. You can't just swipe a card for 1 crore. You have to make a 20% to 25% down payment so you can pay 25 lakhs upfront from the savings. So you pay 25 lakhs upfront from your savings. For the remaining 75 lakhs, you go to the bank and take a home loan at an 8.5 to 9% interest rate for 20 years. Do you know what your monthly EMI will be? Close to 70,000 every single month. On top of that, you have to pay around 60,000 to 70,000 a year for society maintenance. So you can live in that house for just 25,000 rupees on rent. But if you buy, you are paying around 75,000 in EMI plus maintenance. You are paying roughly 3 times the amount to buy it. And if you only look at that one specific calculation, it sounds completely illogical, right? But let's look at it honestly. Here is what people often ignore: your EMI is mostly stable over time, but your rent keeps increasing every year. In most cases, rent goes up by about 5% to 8% annually, meaning it can be double roughly every 10 to 12 years. So let's fast forward. Today, you are paying 25,000 rupees in rent. 10 years from now, to live in that exact same house, you will be paying more than 50,000 a month. 20 years from now, you will be paying more than a lakh even for a single month, just in rent. Meanwhile, the guy who bought that house is still paying roughly 70,000 in EMI even in the 20th year. Yes, maintenance will increase over time, but even after that, the gap between EMI and rent closes drastically as the years go by. And here is the most brutal part. In that 21st year, the guy who bought the house finishes his loan. His EMI becomes zero and he owns an asset worth crores. But if you choose to rent forever, one day you are older, maybe retired, with no active income, and you are still paying 1 lakh, 2 lakh, or even more every single month just to keep a roof over your head. How are you going to afford that when you are 70 years old? Now, this is a common advice: don't pay the 75,000 EMI and maintenance. Pay the 25,000 rent, take the 50,000 you saved and invest in the mutual fund SIP. Many mutual funds will promise compounding at 14%, and in 10 to 20 years you will be so rich that you can just buy that house in pure cash. Sounds like genius hack, right? Wrong. It's a massive illusion. Here is a missing piece. The price of that house isn't going to be the same 1 crore while your investment grows. Over time, real estate prices also increase, often in the range of 6 to 10% annually, depending on the location. So, yes, your SIP might grow beautifully, but at the same time, that 1 crore house could easily become 2 to 2.5 crores in 10 years and 4 crores or even more in 20 years. You are constantly chasing a moving target. And don't forget, when you eventually pull that money out of your mutual funds to buy the house, you will have to pay a massive chunk in long term capital gain taxes. Now, let me tell you why wealthy people love real estate. It's called leverage. When you invest in the stock market, you are mostly using your own money. If you have 25 lakhs, that's all you can invest. But in real estate, that 25 lakhs can control a 1 crore asset. The bank funds the remaining 75 lakhs. at around 8.5 to 9%. Yes, you pay interest, but when you factor the inflation and tax benefit, the real cost of the loan becomes much lower over time. And what are you doing with that money? You are putting it into an asset that also grows in value over time. So instead of earning returns only on your 25 lakhs, you're earning on the entire 1 crore asset. That's the real power of leverage. It doesn't guarantee high returns, but it can significantly amplify them over the long term. Let's step away from the calculator for a second because humans are not robots. Now, in theory, yes, you can rent, invest, and that extra 45,000 every single month into an index fund, do it consistently for 20 years, never miss a month, and never panic during the market crash and build serious wealth. Let's be honest, that's theory. In real life, if you had 25 lakhs sitting in your bank account today, would you really be comfortable putting it all into the stock markets? Most people wouldn't. They just don't have the psychological comfort to put their entire life savings into something that goes up and down every day. But people will put that money into a house. Real estate forces you to be disciplined. It acts as a forced saving account. Plus, real estate is the only asset class you actually live in and enjoy every single day. You don't enjoy looking at your gold coin in the locker. You don't enjoy looking at the mutual funds units on an app. But a home gives you family security. You don't have to worry about a landlord knocking on your door on a Sunday morning demanding rent. You don't have to pack your entire life into boxes and move again and again. You don't have to ask for permission just to hammer a nail into the wall to hang a family photo. Here is a final logical mathematical verdict on what you should actually do. You should absolutely rent if you are in your 20s or early 30s and your career requires you to hop from city to city. You don't have enough savings to comfortably make a 20% down payment. The EMI of the house will be more than 30 to 35% of your total household take home salary. If the EMI crosses 40%, you feel choked, stressed, and financially trapped. But you should absolutely buy if you know your job, your business, and your kids' schools are going to keep you in that specific city for the next 15 to 20 years. Your EMI is comfortably below 30% of your income and you have zero other bad debts. You want the mental peace and the emotional security and the immense pride of owning your own house. One important warning. If you are buying a flat in a high rise, understand what you are actually paying for. A big part of your money goes into the building and amenities. Clubhouse, gym, swimming pool, and those lose value over time. The land underneath is what tends to appreciate. So, in a 1 crore flat, not all of it is truly growing in value, only a portion of it is. As the building gets older and newer projects come up nearby, the gap becomes more obvious. Buy it to live in it and enjoy it, not as a get quick rich investment you plan to flip in 5 years. So, next time you're confused about wanting a home, remember the math. All asset classes, mutual fund, stocks, FDs, and real estate are fantastic if used correctly. If this video opened your eyes and gave you some real clarity, please hit that like button and share it in your family WhatsApp group. I guarantee you that someone you love is currently stressed about buying a house, and this will give them immense peace of mind. Subscribe to the channel so we can keep crushing these financial myths together. See you in the next one.